TechBrits is back, and we're kicking things off with a bang. And that preamble was written by ChatGPT, which is what we're going to be talking about today. I'm Ryan Dawes.
And I'm George Lim.
And this is going to be our AI episode where we're going to be comparing ChatGPT versus Bard.
Versus Bing.
And Bing as well, which obviously uses ChatGPT. A slightly modified version, which we'll get into. So have you played with the tools so far?
I've played with all three of them.
Okay.
I actually think I prefer ChatGPT Raw, like the one on the OpenAI website.
Yep, same.
I think Bing and Bard have some shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Google, the AI champion, is falling behind.
Yes, I would agree. So Bing, are you using creative mode on Bing?
No.
Because you have the free modes on there. So the creative mode uses GPT-4. But I still do find that just raw ChatGPT tends to do better, especially for day-to-day tasks. So I'm going to pop up a comparison here, which might kind of explain a little bit why. Because the ChatGPT obviously uses a modified version of the GPT-3 model, which has 175 billion parameters. That, of course, isn't internet connected, so any real-time data, you're not going to be able to get that.
Yeah.
Bard currently uses a Lambda model, which has 137 billion parameters. So off the bat, it's behind where ChatGPT is at. The difference is Bard has access to the internet, it has Google behind it, so it can get that real-time information.
But that's where Bing comes in.
Mm.
Bing is the ChatGPT model modified to access the internet.
Exactly, yeah. And that works a lot better. It's got the higher parameter model behind it, which is not necessarily a reflection of how good the AI system is going to be, but is a sort of vague indicator, kind of like teraflops with sort of graphics cards. But yes, like you said, the Bing version does have access to the internet.
Yep.
So it has the real-time data. So Google is coming out with a new model of Bard. In fact, by the time it's released, it might already be out, which is a Palm-based model, not the handheld devices that I used to love back in the day. But that one jumps up to 540 billion parameters. So that is nearly 5 times what the current model is, and more than the current version of ChatGPT, the free version. It is behind still I know this is why I had to put the comparison up. It's still behind behind GPT-4 in terms of raw parameters. That we currently only have estimations, but it's around 1 trillion.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a big model.
Even GPT, I think it's 3.5 now.
Yeah, so it's slightly modified.
But it sounds like Google are really just like, they're putting all their eggs into and hopefully they don't kill it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a lot of playing catch up with one another at the moment.
Yeah.
But I find pretty much what you said at the start. In terms of doing your sort of day-to-day tasks, then ChatGPT is better currently. In terms of real-time data, then still I think Bing has...
I think Bing takes the cake.
Has that edge, yeah.
Was that intentional?
Slightly.
But no, but that's the weird thing with Bing. Bing was the search engine you used to get to download Google Chrome. And you would use Bing by accident, but since we rolled out, since they rolled this AI stuff out, Edge is my default browser, which feels dirty to say. Bing is my default search engine, which feels dirty to say. But it's just I use the chat function more than I use search functions now, generally. I don't remember the last time I used the search capability of any search engine, like the old-fashioned search list. But the thing with Bing is, and this was very recently, they've upgraded Edge on Windows 11 and Windows 11 to include it baked in now. So on Windows 11, you've got Bing in your search bar. On Edge, you've got Bing in the right pane. I think anyone can use Bing now. You don't have to wait for the waitlist.
I think it's still technically early access, but they have pretty much opened.
They've opened it to basically everyone.
Yeah.
But I use it all the time. And GPT-3 I use for fun more than anything, or idea generation. Although I have only just learned about the creativity mode on Bing, so I'm going to have a good play with that. Bard, I still feel lax. Like, if we put the same prompt into the 3 platforms, you can see the various differences that they generate.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of appreciate that Google's, trying to play it a bit safe. Like one of their lead engineers basically said that
We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket.
well, it's better for Google to play it safe than put out wrong information, because of Google's whole thing is
Yes.
search, the search engine advertising behind that is its actual business model. But like if Google is giving you wrong information, then that's a massive hit to its reputation.
At the end of the day, I mean, there was recent announcement Bing is going to be starting baking ads into the chat function. Bard is likely going to do the same in the long run. It'll be about that implementation, see how much that puts people off. But I think Google is playing it safe. I wonder whether they're playing it too safe. I think one of the elephants in the room, which we haven't discussed, is Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they got WWDC coming up, potential stuff, whole other video. But I do wonder whether they're trying to do anything in the AI space to make Siri good. Because Siri's always been lacking behind. And Amazon's another one. With all this AI talk, you got Alexa, probably the most used AI in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Siri on most devices in the world. You got those two products, but they're becoming dumb in comparison to these other services.
It's very difficult because Apple its main appeal now is how privacy focused it is. It doesn't have the massive amount of data collection, and of course, it doesn't have its own search engine.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. So Microsoft has obviously been cozying up with OpenAI because it's got Bing. All right, it's been the kind of second-class search engine for a long time, and then Bard obviously has Google behind it.
But with ChatGPT, you can obviously wrap it into Siri.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the API license, and people have been doing that, and that's kind of been people are announcing that as Siri Plus. But I feel like Amazon and Apple do have to be paying attention, otherwise because they are home AIs. They are, in all of our devices. That AI is the next big frontier. We've been talking about personally, and I think the general conversation is VR AR. And I think AI has come in and gone, hold up, just pin that a sec. We need to talk about AI here. You've got the art generation, you've got video generation, you've got text generation. And I think we're in a position now where we're seeing all these cogs, and every day it's getting better, every single day. This video, when it goes out from time of filming, will be out of date.
I was going to say, it probably will be old. But what you said or started saying there about the impact on sort of virtual reality and augmented reality, that's going to have a big impact as well, because you can, with generative AI, you can create all these assets essentially on the fly using AI, and it is absolutely nuts. So if we move on, which I feel like is quite a natural segue, about the kind of jobs impact, do you have a kind of those concerns?
So in our 10-year break,
You've been that long?
Yeah. I started doing art work. I don't want to plug too much here, but so the art game is where I think AI started to pick up, and I think this is where, from my personal opinion, and it's not a common opinion in the art world, is that obviously the AI generated art models pulled from all sorts of art assets, whether the artist like it or not. And I think that is a problem.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem that needs to be solved. But if we can solve that problem, you've still got the issue of AI is taking artists' jobs, right? But I think we need to be looking at this less of this is a threat to artists, but this could be a tool.
Yeah.
For myself personally, I've been using AI-generated art to inspire my own creative mind to then draw in my own style or to do my own thing. And I think it's going to be the same for video, and the same for even authors and text. I mean, text is a huge part, job-wise. People are fearing replacement. It's the same, video killed the radio star, internet killed the TV, And I think this is just, people are scared that this is going to kill their jobs, and we got to just adapt, because this is coming whether we like it or not.
Yeah. That's the thing. Right now, it is very much an assistive tool. It speeds everything up. We're in danger of becoming a very hyper-productive society, and there's danger of just spamming all this stuff out, and it has big implications societal in terms of things like propaganda and that sort of thing. You can kind of mass generate all this content and just push it out automatically.
Real or fake.
Yeah, exactly. But kind of what you said there, it does require someone to be using it at the end of the day. And that's where it is remaining just a tool at the moment. Where we start further down the line getting into general artificial intelligence, which is where
Singularity.
that's when we get into full Skynet stuff.
Yeah.
But I do worry that it will have a jobs impact because of it does lessen the demand. Certainly in terms of me, like I'm a journalist, it's killing off sort of the need for copywriters and writing because they can just do that. If you're the one editing the content and uploading the content, then you're probably safe. But the people who are just creating it, there is going to be less demand for it, I think.
But you could say the same about, operator controls in the past when, your phone operator put me through the, you could say the same about a lot of jobs that have been and gone in the world because of smartphones.
Yeah.
Landline manufacturers. Now, who has a landline in 2023? And there's a lot of jobs that, as technology advances, they go. And it's sad and it's going to be a big disruption, but I think as a society, we will need to adjust. And I don't know how that happens, and I don't know the truth behind it. I don't know the answers. I'm not, I'm just a guy on a couch filming a tech show, but I think we will have to because
you're right. It's gone through. I mean, they said the same thing about a lot of farming equipment back in the day. You've got all these machines come in, and they replaced a lot of manual farming jobs.
Exactly.
But it didn't destroy the entire farming industry. People just adapted. But I mean,
it's going to be difficult. I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk, and I'm not saying that people are just going to be able to go, "Oh, my job's gone," and move on. It's going to be hard. It's going to have an impact massively on society, and I'm not trying to make light of that. But I think in the long term, we will have to adjust, and we will have to just accept that it's part of our lives. Otherwise, what have a revolution against the AI? Is that the next step? Those are the two directions I see it now.
Yeah, and of course there already is that divide in a way. You've got Wozniak, you've got Musk, over 1,000 other experts all signed a letter the other day, an open letter, calling for essentially a pause on AI development. You've got Italy, they've banned ChatGPT temporarily, or currently temporarily, but it looks to be potentially permanent. And a lot of other European countries are potentially doing the same.
But and I think, personally, it's an oversight. That's my personal view. I think the more advancement we can get, yes, maybe it's going a bit fast. I can appreciate potentially a pause. Yes, every day is a bit much, but I think it is the gradual next step. We've started chucking AI on our homes. We've had AI for ages. It's just we've now got AI that's actually decent and powerful. No one complained about Siri or Google Assistant.
No.
But it's only because this AI is actually being useful now. Not that they weren't, but it's being capable. And I don't think we should be stopping that, but I'm not in politics.
So there's a whole group of experts who also have the same opinion as that. And their main crux is that if you essentially halt development, if you stop the good guys developing AI, then the bad guys won't stop. They will continue.
It's the same thing across the board, whether it's AI, whether it's cyber, whether it's physical. If the good guys stop, the bad guys won't.
Yeah, exactly. And here in good old Blighty, we put out a white paper the other day about our own approach. We're taking the Frank Sinatra own way approach. Technically, they didn't put it like that. They called it the pro-innovation approach. And it has several pillars to it.
The name was much better.
I thought so. This is why I should be in charge. So it has 5 key pillars. So the first is safety. So ensuring that applications function in a secure, safe, and robust manner. Next is transparency and explainability. The idea that any organizations that deploy AI should be able to communicate when and how it's used, and they should be able to explain a system's decision-making process. So that's the idea of explainable AI, which is XAI if you want to abbreviate it. Then there's fairness, so ensure compatibility with all the UK's existing laws, including the Equality Act and the UK's version of GDPR. Accountability and governance, so introducing measures to ensure there's appropriate oversight of AI. And contestability and redress, so that basically ensures that people have clear routes to dispute any outcomes or decisions generated by AI. And that, I feel, are very good core principles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not putting a complete sort of halt on AI development, but it's just trying to ensure that there's a kind of degree of safety and oversight there, and potential sort of recourse if people feel they're being unjustified.
Yeah, and I think that's I think personally that's the right direction to take. And I think if it does get too obtrusive and too aggressive, we can change tact. I think halting it entirely is an oversight.
Yeah, 100%. So, what are your views on the current state of AI and where it's heading? Do you think that it should be halted, or do you think we should just allow it all to roam free? Let us know in the comments, and if you're a returning viewer, then please say hi again, because it's been a long time.
It has been a long time, but we're hoping to make these a bit more regular, so stay tuned.
Fingers crossed. So until next time, catch you later.
Ciao.